Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Head to Head Sports. I'm your host, Brian Parker, along with my co-host, Mr. Randall Hargrove. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Under the weather this evening, so I got a good hour with you. I'm gonna have to log off and get back to bed, man. But
Not a problem.
yeah,
I think
got one of
all
them.
we got is all we got tonight is about an hour, so not a
Got
whole
one
lot
of
going on. So,
them.
but thanks everybody for tuning in for another week. We are streaming live and direct on Roku TV. We are on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook Live. And we're also on YouTube TV under Parker Media. So look us up. Make sure you like, share, and most importantly, please subscribe. But let everyone know what you're watching. Whether you're watching us on the live airing of this show, which we see a couple of people already, or you are catching us on the replay. We just like to say thank you, thank you, thank you. We also like to say thank you for currently riding with us now for the last 21 weeks or so, and we got another 2 more weeks to go in the NFL regular season, and then the NFL season, which includes Pro Bowl week, and then it'll end up turning over next week into full-fledged Super Bowl week, ramping up to the Super Bowl. You have your NFL honors, so the top awards will be announced Thursday the 5th, I believe. So our next show, we'll probably look into that a little bit more with our calls of the things like MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie Offensive, Rookie Defensive, Head Coach, all that kind of stuff. But we got plenty of things to get into before that. Let's before we get into the games and stuff like that, let's kind of rewind a little bit. We did miss last week, and a few things did happen last week. Of course, we had our NFC conference championships yesterday. Some really interesting football, but we also had some coaching things that had happened over the last couple of weeks. And Rand, I know that one of the things that happened with your Steelers was you lost Mike T, and now most recently you replaced Mike for Mike.
White Mike. You got White Tomlin up in the house.
Oh no. Did you say White Tomlin?
He's White Tomlin. You look at him, it's the same. Well, actually, he has a 500 postseason record, so Tomlin can't even say that. But otherwise, they're about the same. One Super Bowl apiece, same amount of times in the postseason. I think Tomlin has a 62% regular season win percentage. McCarthy has 60. So, it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I thought they would go with someone a lot younger.
Yeah.
I really wish
Mike McCarthy's 62, and this is the first time in a while that they've hired a head coach that was older than 38 years old.
Yeah, exactly. I think Noah was like 38. Cowher was 35. Tomlin was even younger than that. So
32, wasn't he?
Yeah. So yeah, this is definitely a departure. I know that McCarthy is a hometown product or whatnot, but it just really didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I wish they'd gone with the young coordinator, the defensive coordinator route. My guy was the young coach in Minnesota, the defensive coordinator for the Vikings. But here we are.
Flores.
Yes, Brian Flores, no doubt. But here we are. I wasn't in on the interview process, of course. So maybe they saw something in McCarthy that they really liked. Maybe he'll be a bridge coach for the next few seasons until they could find somebody else to take over reins. But I'm a little worried that the Steelers are not the same Steelers no more, man. It's just it's not the same standard, for lack of a better word. We're now in the 9th season without a playoff win. That's Dallas Cowboy territory. They got a Dallas Cowboy former coach. The Steelers, as far as defensively, you look at the Steelers in the playoffs, defense has been their standard since the 70s. Yeah. Ever since I've been a fan.
Defense is running the ball.
And running the ball. You do not come into Pittsburgh and put up no points. Now, teams routinely in the playoffs put up over 30 against the Steelers.
Yeah.
It's just not the same. They can't run the ball.
Can't stop the run.
They're far, far away from what they used to be. We used to be linebacker central, you know. We used to stack them linebackers,
Yep.
the best linebackers in the league over anybody. Now we're, getting linebackers from other teams, Patrick Queen, on and on. Other than TJ Watt, what is really working out there? So Steelers got a long, long way to go to get back to the Steelers of old.
Like, it still's got a lot of things that they need to address. And I know that, I saw something that was kind of funny because once Mike Tomlin had, announced to the team that he was leaving, they asked your owner, what does that mean for Aaron Rodgers? And, he's basically said, well, Aaron's came to play for Mike Tomlin, and now with Mike gone, that may factor into the equation. And I'm like, well, shit. I mean, shouldn't the fact that he's 42 years old factor into the equation, and that he showed flashes but not complete games of what Aaron Rodgers old was? And then when they hired McCarthy, they were like, well, that might influence him to want to try it again since he has a history with McCarthy and they won a Super Bowl together. And I'm like, why are we talking about Aaron Rodgers?
I tell you why they're talking about Aaron Rodgers, unless they make some type of move to get a young quarterback in free agency again, and they've done that route before too. I just don't see them picking up anybody in the draft unless they move up to get a Ty Simpson from Alabama, and he's not altogether proven.
Right.
He got off to a very hot start. He was a Heisman Trophy candidate for half the season, but then the second half of the season, he fell off the wagon big time. Some people are saying that's because of nagging injuries. Other people are saying that, just the schedule wore on him or whatever, but you'll never know. I like Ty Simpson. He's got the size, he's got the mobility that I think that we want, but it's basically him and nobody else in this draft. This is not a good quarterback draft.
Even with the draft, is there a Sam Darnold out there? Not Sam Darnold, not Baker, but is it Mac Jones? Is it somebody on another team right now that is not going to be a starter, but they're right behind that starter that could command or be, you talking about having a bridge coach? Could it just be to look for that bridge quarterback, and maybe even draft another one like with the 5th or 6th round pick that you develop or something like that, and see what happens? If it doesn't pan out, you only gave up a 5th, 6th, 7th round pick to get them, but you get somebody that has a couple of starts under their belt. Hell, I ain't gonna lie to you. After watching Stiddy play a little bit yesterday, because I was totally like, oh, he's gonna be well. The lights are gonna be too bright and everything else. Hell, whatever Sean Payton put in his ear, he was actually doing pretty good until the weather started changing on them. And he didn't play a horrible game. Even with that, it's just that nobody could. They both basically committed to running at that point, and Stidham was doing some things early on when the weather was really good. That I was like, that's what I'm talking about. When Bo Nix goes down, you got a guy like Stiddy that can come in and kind of do things. Would Stiddy work with Steelers? Not saying that, but is there a backup worth giving a team-friendly contract to that has a lot more upside than Aaron Rodgers has? Aaron Rodgers ain't got that much upside. I'm sorry. He has no mobility at all. I saw Stidham break free for a couple of runs, and it didn't look like he was hurting himself when he was doing it.
Yeah, Stidham would definitely not be my guy, man. Very poor choices down the stretch there in the fourth quarter, especially that last heave towards one of the best cornerbacks in the whole league when you're only second down and 8. Terrible decision there. But he's known for those terrible decisions as well. So, that's why he's a backup. That's so right. Stidham definitely wouldn't be my choice. I do like what I saw from, Mac Jones this year, definitely. So do they take a chance on him, or do they bring back another Rodgers, who wasn't bad, 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions or something like that? Mm-hmm. With this terrible of a offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith was just absolute garbage, and
really
only had one wide receiver all year long.
Now.
Huh?
He went to college now.
That's exactly where he belongs, man. Yeah, it's just I talked about this at the whole beginning of the season. Trying to just put one wide receiver out there and a bunch of tight ends and think you're going to win in this modern NFL. I mean, we got lucky to get 10 wins. But as soon as we got in the playoffs, it's the same deal again. So,
Oh, you get
I don't
exposed
know,
more
man.
in the playoffs too.
Got
So
terribly exposed.
yeah.
Only have one receiver out there, and that's not going to win against a good defense like Houston. So,
Well, no, I mean, all you're basically doing is inviting cover two, every single time Metcalf is out there. So he has very little room to work with unless you're going to put him in. He's not like Puka Nacua or Jackson Smith and Jigma, where you can line him up in the backfield on certain plays, one side to the other. You put him in the slot, you put him in the clown, and you moving him all over in different places and stuff like that. He's out there in the slot the whole time. So that's his game, and that's fine as long as you have some wide receiver two on the other side that can take away some of that attention, so they can't play cover two the whole time like that. So
had absolutely
you
nobody.
made it. You made defenses not have to work that hard for DK Metcalf.
They didn't have to work at all that game.
Yeah, to work at all, really.
It was absolutely what you said. He was on the outside, either on the right or the left. And wherever he was on the outside, they put somebody underneath and somebody over the top. They kept him like that the entire game.
And as
they
long
were
as
not worried about nobody else on that field.
Yep. As long as you can rush with four and keep the
they
pressure on
could.
the quarterback, then that's just a disaster, because for DK to be effective, your quarterback needs time. But if they're getting home or at least making the pocket very disastrous with just a four-man rush, then that makes it hard on a receiver whose routes take time to develop. It's not going to happen a lot of times. So now you're putting your quarterback in positions, especially when they have no mobility, to have to get the ball quickly out of their hands, which is going to play into dump off passes to running backs and tight ends, or receivers coming off the line of scrimmage real quick and making a quick slant or something like that to be able to become a quick target. But then it negates the impact of downfield plays and using your best receiver out there on the field.
Yeah, I mean, the Steelers' whole plan this year was just absolutely terrible, man. Whoever they lined up as number two, I mean, think about the choices that they had at number two. You had MVS, Butterfingers, right? They tried him. They tried Calvin Austin III. Dude is literally 5'9", trying to line up on the outside. I mean, come on. How many wide receivers are doing that?
Right.
Then you got what's the guy from who got from Carolina?
Thielen.
Adam Thielen.
Thielen. Yeah.
He's well past his prime. So
and retired.
Yeah.
He retired. He knew it. I mean, he asked for Minnesota to release him because he saw that he wasn't really in their plans, because they got Addison and they got Jefferson and all those cats. I don't know why he left Carolina thinking that if he went back to Minnesota, he was going to make an impact there any more than he did in Carolina. It's like, bro, you were good in your day, but you're going to be a 3 at best and most likely a 4,
exactly.
Which is crazy, because once you start becoming a wide receiver 4, they really don't want you to be only on offense. They want you on special teams. So, you were hanging on by a thread anyway. And I'm sure the writing was on the wall right before he decided to retire, that, hey, they probably weren't going to keep your ass no way, because they couldn't put you out on special teams because you would be a liability.
Fragile.
Yeah. There's no way, we thank you for your service.
Yeah. But it's over. Yeah.
It's over.
So yeah. And the guys that I just named 3 of them, they're our top options for number 2. They got 2 more guys, but they're not as good as those guys. So it was a disaster for the Steelers. It is.
All,
it really
all
is.
the way around.
Yeah.
All the way around.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So Yeah, they got a lot of needs to address. They can't fix it all in the draft. Um, Free agency is what it is. It'll start up in March. Um, but you know, I guess my point's going to be whether we look at the records of Mike Tomlin and Mike McCarthy as almost looking like a wash. To me, the issues in Philadelphia, in Pittsburgh, go deeper than the coach. It's personnel. It's having your contingency plans in place, making sure that, I mean, even your defensive guys, whether it's uh, T.J. Watt, whether it's your other guys in the backfield, they're getting old.
Yeah, Watt's getting up there. You're right
Old.
about that. He's reached probably his peak. He had 7 sacks this year. That is not TJ Watt numbers. That is actually a low for several years for TJ Watt. So what are we going to do with him? Is he even back with the team next year? That's a decision that's going to have to be made. If it was up to me, to be honest, man, I would roll with Aaron Rodgers again. I would use him, and I would use the backups that we have, which played very little this year because it was all Rodgers. But I wouldn't draft Ty Simpson because they're going to have to trade up to get him using draft collateral. It is time for the Steelers to bottom out, to tank, and start all over, because I'm sick of the 10-7s and out, the 9-8s and out. Let's roll with what we have. If it's good enough to get us back to the playoffs, hey, so be it. But if we go 5-11 or 5-12 next year, then we will be prime candidate to draft a good quarterback with a deep quarterback class next year. That would be my plan, definitely.
So you wouldn't even entertain like a Malik Willis?
Nope.
Anthony Richardson?
Hell no. You guaranteeing 5-12.
To a Tagovailoa?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
The only guy I have really real interest in is Mac Jones, because he's size. He had a good year, so if they could obtain him, good. If not, man.
I mean, no Desmond Ridder or Easton Stick.
Choice is getting worse and worse.
Bring up Taylor Heineke, maybe. Andy Dalton.
They already got that guy, Mason Rudolph. That's their number 2.
Oh, that's right. That's Andy Dalton.
Roll with Mason. Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. So yeah, it's going to be a lot to really see, but I feel like to really see where the commitment from the Steelers is going to start in March in free agency. They're going to have to be a player in that to really, really see what they're going to do. I agree with you. There is no immediate silver bullet when it comes to quarterback. So what they're going to have to do is refine their line, because you don't want to overpay for a quarterback, because if you draft them in the first round, they all come with that potential 5th-year option. There's a sliding scale for quarterback pay and things like that. So there's no first round, in my opinion, option for quarterback. But they need to, from the offensive side, they need to shore up their run game. They need to shore up their receivers, keep that offensive line strong. So no matter who if you're going to roll with Aaron Rodgers, you need to make sure that offensive line can definitely pass protect and run block as well, to take a lot of pressure off of Aaron Rodgers by reestablishing that run game, run early, throw late, so that you're not relying on Aaron Rodgers to have to save you in games, just steady the ship, so to speak.
Yeah, that's exactly what they need, man. And it's like they got to fix that defense. But the good news is the Steelers have a very, very deep draft this year. They got one first, they got 1 second, they have 3 thirds,
wow.
They have 3 fourths, they have a 5th, and they have 3 6 and 2 7s.
It sounds like they can combine some of those if they don't
Yeah,
stay
they
where
could
they're
either combine and move up, but if they stand pat, I mean, they really could draft an entire team, like on the offensive side or the
at.
defensive
That's true.
side. So
I would almost do that unless I just
I would
saw
too.
somebody that I really, really just felt like I had to have, and putting two fourths together or a fourth and a third together, they move up to get them, makes sense or something like that. But
Yeah,
it would have to be that situation. But
yeah.
again, I would definitely be strong in free agency without overpaying for old players. Um,
Mhm.
but
You
find
made a
some guys
mistake.
you feel like you could plug in immediately to bridge your way to help develop these third, fourth rounds that may not be day one ready or may be more ready for rotational um, situations than be in every snap that can develop into full time starters. So
Yeah, they need to get rid of some of these old salaries too. Patrick Queen, it's time to go, man. Get him up out of here.
yeah,
Um, as much as I love TJ Watt, I mean, that's something that they're really, really gonna have to look at. Um, and shoot, who's the other guy I'm talking about? Ramsey, Patrick Ramsey. Um,
mm. Oh yeah, yeah.
gotta get him up out of here, man. He was not worth the money this year. So
Mm-mm. Not at all. Not at all. What about Janu? Janu coming back?
Jonnu Smith not worth the money. They got a bunch of old players that they paid big money to, expecting dividends, and they did
Well,
not get the return.
I think they paid more for the name on the back of the jersey than the
They
production
really
on
did.
the field.
They really did. Excellent, excellent statement there,
Yeah.
because that's exactly what they did. They paid for names, man.
Well, and that's what happens sometimes in free agency. You look at a guy's name and you start to reminisce on what that name has done, and you associate a salary with it that may not be warranted anymore based on the current. Um,
Hmm.
that's what you lower yourself into going. Oh man, we could get him to be back. That John knew that was da 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 da. We can get Darren Waller to be the Darren Waller of old before he retired. Da 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 da. But sometimes there was a reason that you started to see them not match that name anymore because Father Time is undefeated. Everybody's time comes up, not all at the same time, but it comes up.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's
and
what
that's
I was saying earlier, man. It's like the Steelers used to be built through the draft, right?
yeah,
No doubt
it
about
was
it.
a farm league. Yeah,
No doubt about it. They drafted well for decades. They built their team, especially the defense and the wide receivers, built them through the draft.
but
Um,
I think that's what got Steelers fans into believing that you never really had to tank because you never had to, uh, redo everything. You just had to reload and
mhm.
and all of that. You didn't have to break it all down all the way because you were constantly building the plane while it was in the air. You never had to
Yeah,
come down to land.
that is exactly it. That's exactly it. So, I don't know. Do they do it again this year? Can they get to 10-7 and see what McCarthy could do in the playoffs? I believe he's a better playoff coach than the guy we just let go. I do believe that. So
Well,
we will see.
if anything, he'll be a different voice. Who he chooses to surround himself from a coordinator standpoint, is he going to choose to be the play caller or is he going to delegate those duties? A lot of that is going to give me a good indication of where they're committed. I hadn't heard any press conference from him where he's kind of given an idea of his philosophy. He grew up in Pittsburgh. So if anybody understands to what you said earlier about what Pittsburgh has been known for with running the ball and having a good defense, he should lean into that and to reestablish that identity instead of necessarily scrapping that and trying to create something else so that when people look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, they don't even recognize them at all anymore, which if you ask a lot of Pittsburgh fans right now, they don't recognize
Yeah,
that team. But he would probably get the fans more on his side if he said, we're going back to doing what we did best.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do believe that he could bring better offense. Because Tomlin, to a fault, was very loyal to people he shouldn't have been, like Arthur Smith.
God. Oh my
Smith
God.
should have been out of there years ago. The defensive coordinator, Terrell Austin, should have been out of there years ago. So get new blood up in there.
Mhm.
For the first time in forever, I'm not expecting a winning season next year. So it's going to be very very interesting what happens in Pittsburgh over the next year. I'm paying close attention to it.
And I'll close with this with the Steelers, but it's interesting too because Tomlin still had years on his contract. Um, he is not expected to coach this upcoming season, but if he did, he would actually have to be traded. He
Yeah.
can't just outright take a coaching job. The Steelers would have to agree to trade him for compensation.
Yes, we would have to be compensated like the guy in Denver was several years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Payton. Yeah.
Yep. When he came back, right, he left, but he was still under contract. So that would end up doing the same thing. Now, do I think Tomlin will end up coaching a year removed? I don't know. Tomlin might go the way of Bill Cowher.
I think so too. He seems pretty burned out to me.
I agree. I just I don't know how many seasons it was after Cowher left that people just kept going. Is he ever going to come back? Is he ever going to come back? Because when there's a coach opening, you hear these names that keep circling around. And it's funny that after so much time, his name didn't circle anymore.
I know.
Like people just knew that, okay, he said he ain't coming back and we believe him. He ain't coming back. He looked too comfortable over CBS.
I remember at when the Panthers were about to make their hire of I think it was the year they picked up Matt Rule. Cowher's name was being circulated then, he's his daughter goes to NC State, so he's got a house in Raleigh, blah 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 blah. Cowher was comfortable on TV.
What does that even mean?
I know people are just looking to anything, man.
Trying to find some tea leaves.
Yes.
All right. Well. So the Steelers have their person. I understand that 2 weeks ago, the Buffalo Bills lost the game that they got robbed, in my opinion, of from the Broncos, and this was all because of a catch that they ruled not a catch, and then not only it wasn't that he didn't catch it, that he didn't complete the catch and was down by contact. And that the defensive player ended up ripping the ball away. Rand, I don't know if you saw that play, but I was under the impression that once the receiver catches and his whole ass hits the ground, he's down by contact. And I was also under the impression that the tie went to the receiver anyway if both guys had a hand on the ball.
That's why I'm glad to do the show with you year after year. We usually see things the exact same, man. Because I really hate to disagree with people on subjects like this. That was a catch and down by contact. I don't care what nobody says. I'm tired of people saying that it was an interception or not a catch or he didn't have control of the ball. Yes, he did. He caught the ball. He hit the ground. The guy was touching him on the ground. That is a catch. It's
every damn day. I've seen that play happen way too many times, and it's always down by contact.
Yes, it is an absolute headache to debate people on stuff like that. So thank you, B. Thank you.
Are you getting people that really said it was an interception?
Plenty.
You know what? The only thing that I saw after that ran was people sitting there, the old Dez Bryant people coming back saying, see?
Yeah.
I was like, damn, they ain't let that shit go either. They still talking about that. See, you said Dez didn't catch it. No, this dude had full control of the ball when it came down. Once you hit the ground, it's like if the ground can't cause a fumble, how does hitting the ground keep the ball live so that it can cause an interception? It can't. It's dead.
Yeah.
It's just as dead as he could not have rolled over after the guy was touching the ball with him and got up and kept on running. It's dead right there.
It's dead right there. And I hate hearing people's arguments. Oh, he didn't make a football move. Dude, when you go to the ground, that's a football move, man.
If you go to the ground, there's no possibility of a football move. That's only when you catch the ball.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh, he didn't survive the ground. Yes, he hit the ground. What are you talking
And
about? The ball didn't
the
get
ball didn't
dislodged.
shift when he hit the ground.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ. I can't even believe how debatable that would be. That
Oh
would have
man,
that would have blew my mind if I would have caught a thread where somebody was saying that.
you must not
Oh
have been in the cooler. You must not have been in
man,
the
I
cooler.
wasn't I wasn't in the cooler because I would have probably lost it. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Well, that ended up being the straw that broke the camel's back as far as the Bills organization saying goodbye to a coach that outside of the postseason has had a lot of success with the Buffalo Bills. Rand, I don't fault a team for wanting to have high expectations as far as what their expectations is for their team. I want teams to say, yes, we're engaged, we're committed to winning, we expect a lot from our team and everything else. But my God, Sean McDermott brought y'all back from being a laughing stock a lot of ways.
Dude, I saw the news and I was shocked. I ain't even gonna
I
lie.
couldn't
I
believe
was
it.
shocked. I could not believe it either.
And
And I will say
the
this.
question people kept asking is, well, who you gonna replace him with?
Yeah, who you gonna get? And the thing I'll answer with that is it's over. The window is closed.
We
It's
always
closed.
start the seasons with that question with them.
Yep.
I agree. Officially, the door is closed.
It's closed, man.
They just shut that son gun.
Yep. They
I
made
feel
a
for Josh Allen.
they made a critical mistake with getting rid of McDermott. I don't see them bringing anybody in that's gonna just come in and understand that culture. That's gonna come in and do any better. Because in my eyes, McDermott, God, he could have been in the Super Bowl twice, maybe three times. It's just been the luck of the draw that's kept him
Yeah.
out.
Well,
Is
that
it his fault
organization is
that
cursed. It's the
yeah,
same organization that went to the Super Bowl 3 times in a row and lost.
is it McDermott's fault that his defense couldn't hold for 13 freaking seconds?
Hell no.
It's
Hell
yeah,
no. And he did a lot with that team considering who were your receivers.
exactly. They had none this year.
And he still did all of that without, splash name receivers.
Hmm.
Shakir's decent. Coleman, we'll see. But his receivers were his tight ends.
Exactly. It was
They
another
paid him
Pittsburgh
not.
all over again. Yeah.
And if my man, their running back, wasn't doing what he was doing most of the season,
Yeah, he saved
they,
them too.
they couldn't stop him.
Yep.
And then of course, Josh Allen gets a lot of crap. But my God, if Josh Allen didn't do half of the stuff that he did during the regular season, we wouldn't even be talking about them having a chance to go to the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know who they get over McDermott though.
I heard when they first let him go, and I heard him mention Brian Daboll.
Okay.
I was like, next.
Yeah, exactly.
Then they said, well, they could keep it the same and just, elevate Joe Brady. And I'm like, well, no, because if you're gonna have Joe Brady, what was the point of getting rid of McDermott?
Exactly.
That's just Joe Brady. That's just McDermott light. Then, but then I see that I thought it was a joke, but they had Phillip Rivers come in to interview. I ain't gonna bring up what Ryan Clark said, other than to say that he caught a lot of hell for what he said, but it's valid. When he talked about Byron Leftwich can't get no interviews, but then Phillip Rivers coaching football in Alabama, high school football in Alabama, ain't been no coordinator or nothing, and all of a sudden being interviewed for head coach. That's about as crazy as Jeff Saturday coaching the Indianapolis Colts.
It might be the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of.
And they actually went through with it. And then I just saw today that he has removed himself from consideration. And it's probably because he heard some of the public outcry, like, how did he skip the line to even be interviewed? Yeah. Yeah, we know.
Yeah,
We may discuss that on Head to Head on Thursday when we talk politics.
I'm telling you.
Because we definitely know, but
We know.
that's crazy how that could happen. But at least he had a head coach opportunity to interview. And those aren't just given out, like Willy Wonka tickets either. So that was just a strange thing. Other strange things that I heard too, Rand. Of course, the Cleveland Browns have an opening, and apparently, a couple of coaches have removed themselves from consideration from that, because they're hearing that the ownership is wanting them to give them essays on what they can do to improve the team.
Cleveland is such a disaster, yo.
I'm like, what, more massage tables? Shit, what do you want me to tell you? How about not signing quarterbacks to $230 million fully guaranteed contracts?
That is such a disaster of an organization, man. God, it's laughable. Good Lord.
Wait a minute. You want your folks to do homework?
And then the fact that Atlanta goes and makes the decision that they make it head coach.
Stefanski. Yeah, yep. That's where I was tying it. That was my segue right there. And then I'm listening to 4th and 1 and Cam sitting there talking about Atlanta being a black city.
Predominantly black city, yes.
They got Stefanski up in there.
How in the hell is that going to go over? He might get booed opening day.
And after what people, rightfully or not, where it looked like Stefanski was sabotaging Shador, now he gets to sit there and have his hands all over Michael Penix Jr.
Yeah. Matt Ryan, that is the dumbest hire I've ever heard in my life, man. I couldn't believe that hire when I heard it.
The first thing you did was say, And again, this is somebody looking at what somebody did in the past, getting Coach of the Year twice and all these other accolades. Yes, but you have a young quarterback. Show me Stefanski where he's had young quarterbacks and he's developed them. You can go all the way to Baker Mayfield. Baker got better once he got the hell up out of Cleveland.
Yes.
People don't do well in Cleveland. You were the coach. So tell me, oh Lord, that's crazy. I just saw one of these comments. I'm getting trolled.
What the hell does that even mean?
Look, I know I need a haircut. Damn. I hope it ain't talking about me. But anyway, that's just crazy. But yeah, so going to Stefanski, when you have a young team that's trying to develop a quarterback, makes no sense to me at all. You need a guy that's proven to be able to develop a quarterback. Dave Canales was hired for Carolina because of the success that he had with Baker Mayfield. Baker had one of his better seasons with Canales and with the coordinator before him, which was Liam Cohen. And they both got head coaching jobs because of what they were able to do on the offensive side, and in particular with Baker Mayfield. So Kevin Stefanski has not shown any of that. And somehow he got hired quick.
It's crazy, man, that they would pick him up after the experience that we just all witnessed with the black quarterback. Now he goes to another young black quarterback in a black town that's predominantly, and it's home. Like, doesn't Sanders have a home in Atlanta still?
Yes.
It's the craziest thing I've ever heard, man. It's like Ryan really did not do his homework before making that hire, man.
It's not going to end well. I mean, that is crazy. So you got that going on. You got the Giants finding their man, and we knew Jim Harbaugh would not have to wait long to get a job. If anything, he was going to hold other teams and other people up from getting jobs until he really decided, which may have influenced him not waiting too long, because he understood that he had several places that he could have gone, and teams would have probably put things on hold just to really see or get fielders out whether they really had a decent chance at getting him, but he ended up going to the New York Giants. He's definitely poached some of the Ravens staff to come with him. Monken, I believe, is going to come be with him as well from the Ravens as well. Well, I think he is now, but I think they were waiting to see if he was going to end up getting a head coach job himself. If not, he was going to end up going. The Ravens then replaced him with the Chargers defensive coordinator in Jesse Minter. We already mentioned
that higher.
Yeah, that's interesting. And then you see Robert Saleh going to Tennessee after a year removed from being with the Jets as their head coach, which I still don't think that was his fault. I think Aaron Rodgers used him as a scapegoat when they fired Saleh. Then he goes to the 49ers as their defensive coordinator. Now he comes over to the Tennessee Titans. I actually don't have a problem with that one because I've always thought Robert Saleh was a decent coach, and the Titans need to really, really focus on their defense until their quarterback can really, really get going. Depending on who he brings in as an offensive coordinator to work with a young Cam Ward, that could be a team that turns around pretty quickly, especially in a AFC South that tends to have some bouncing around of who wins that division.
I tell you what, man, when I heard of Harbaugh going to the New York Giants, I celebrated that. Everybody knows I'm Steelers number 1, Panthers number 2, but the Giants might be my number 3 team next year, man.
I like where they're going.
I love what they're doing.
Man, everybody come back healthy.
Yes. They got a nightmare of a tackler. I'm sorry, what am I trying to say here? Nobody wants to tackle Scatterboo. I'll just put it that way.
You can't.
Yeah, the Juggernaut. They got him.
That's what he reminds me of. The Juggernaut. Yes.
Yep. They got just a terror at wide receiver.
Oh my God. Neighbors
is awesome. That defensive front four is just going to get elevated with Harbaugh's presence. The Giants could really compete with the Eagles next year for the East if things go right and they'd be healthy.
I agree. Yeah. You got some pieces in there. My man Brian, what's his name? He's just, I mean, he ain't peaked yet.
Yeah.
He's still growing into that role. You put somebody on the other side of, well, you got Abdul over there too on that defense. Oh my God, yeah. They keep shoring up that defense and they get that running. And even when we talk about Scatterboo, Tyrone Tracy ain't no bum either.
No,
so that's a nice little 1-2 combination as well.
Yes, it is.
You know what? And as everybody know, I'm an Eagles fan. But I could definitely see if things go a certain way. I could see the Giants winning that division easily.
I can see the Giants
because they were competitive in a lot of games, but they gave away leads too many times. They lost games that they should have won. I saw a lot of that in the Detroit Lions before they made their come up, where they were being competitive, but it just didn't show in the win-loss column or in the win column. This could be a team that could have that, and it'll look like to a lot of people on the outside looking in, oh man, they came out of nowhere. But if you watch them throughout the year, even when they didn't win, you could kind of see it coming. If you paid
attention. Built a culture in Baltimore. If he brings that same attitude and culture into New York, man, look out. The future's bright in New York, man. The G-men are back.
And you gotta remember, when Harbaugh went to Baltimore, he wasn't a defensive coordinator or offensive coordinator. He came from special teams.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's just who he is. So that was a hell of a get for the New York Football Giants. So I'm sorry, Jets fans, but you're still going to be the second worst team in New York. Yeah. Or I'm sorry, the third worst, because I still think the Bills will be better than the Jets.
And Dallas Cowboys enjoy that free fall. I think you guys might be the bottom of the East next year.
Man, I mean, golly. They're going on 31 years now.
Yeah.
No end in sight. Even though Jerry Jones did say that they'll be in the Super Bowl next year, he actually effing said that out loud.
Sure.
Like Jerry, it ain't. Somebody laughed and said that Cardi B going to the Super Bowl before the Cowboys. So anyway,
Damn.
and Jackson Smith and Jigma has a Dallas Cowboy tattoo on his right arm, and they said that that's the closest the Cowboys getting to the Super Bowl too. That star gonna be there because Smith and Jigma gonna be there.
As long as they got Jerry making the moves, it's just going to be a disaster on Big D. So,
Well, and here's the thing. To your point, everybody in your division is getting better, and all y'all have is a bunch of empty promises down there in Dallas. I mean, what's going to happen when they end up messing around and finishing fourth?
that's very likely to happen next year, man.
That's my early bird prediction.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Everybody in the East is getting better. Dallas is losing talent.
They're losing ground. They're losing ground. And then lastly, the last hire we had was the Dolphins picked up. They let Mike McDaniel go, who I think got picked up as an offensive coordinator in LA. But now you got the Dolphins picking Jeff Hafley up. He's the defensive coordinator of the Packers. So got that. And not a fire or hire, but a retention, speaking of the Packers, is Matt LaFleur. He's going to stick around for some more years. So Green Bay, one of those teams trying to, I think, be like the Steelers where they don't make a lot of head coaching changes, are going to just kind of keep things going with LaFleur to see if this season was more of a aberration, or instead of just looking at it as just trending things to come, to really see if he can right this ship and give him a chance to do that. So I commend them for doing that, because they probably asked themselves the same thing, Rand. Who are we going to get to come in here and do better with Jordan Love?
Exactly. Who we going to get? So I don't mind them keeping LaFleur either. I mean, it wasn't like he was terrible. Mike McDaniel going to the LA Chargers is huge for Justin Herbert. I think that's really going to help them.
Me too. That because that offense has some true upside, and everybody that bombs out at a head coach doesn't mean that they can't coach, but head coach is a different thing than just being committed to one position or one side of the ball. Offensive coordinator fits what Mike McDaniel is able to do with coming up with different concepts and schemes and stuff like that. But trying to be a game manager of all three phases of the game, all personnel, and then having a bunch of position coaches and coordinators under you, that's a lot.
Didn't work for him.
Yeah, it just didn't work. But we've seen plenty of guys that go back into coordinator roles and do a great job. I take when you look at Steve Spagnuolo, bombed as a head coach, but a great defensive coordinator.
What's his name? Josh McDaniel, right? Little short guy. Terrible head coach.
Terrible head coach. Had two chances of it. But when it came to being an offensive OC, that's his wheelhouse.
The man.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah, a great example of that. And then Eric Bieniemy ends up going back to Kansas City as their offensive coordinator. But we'll see, because even when he was there the last time, he wasn't the game day play caller. It still went through Andy Reid as game day play caller. So hopefully Andy will be a little bit more willing to open that up a little bit and let Bieniemy help him with the play calling, if not take it over altogether. So.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a really interesting season next year. I'm kind of already wanting to get started with it. I'm going to miss the show and miss this season after the Super Bowl or whatnot, but it's going to be hell of exciting talking football come August again. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We and the early announcement is we have been renewed for season 7. So,
all right.
I can't believe that, but 7 seasons coming. So looking at what did happen yesterday. Randa, the Texans, Lord have mercy. The Patriot Bronco game was interesting because it started out decent weather, and then as the game progressed, it really got snowy. I was a little taken back because Drake May, between that game and the one before it, the week before, weren't Drake's best games, even against the Texans. Did not look like Drake, the Drake May that we were accustomed to seeing in the regular season. And then when they played the Broncos, even before the weather turned bad, Drake was really, really struggling with accuracy and getting the ball out on time. Now, when you got a pass rush like the Broncos and the defense like the Broncos, that can have a lot to do with it. But I'm looking forward to seeing what he can now do when they go to sunny California in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Be an interesting game, man. He's got two quarterback stories, right? You got Drake May, second year and all the way to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
If he wins, that's a story that's going to be pretty spectacular. Second year guy wins a Super Bowl ring. And I wouldn't mind seeing it because, we're both UNC fans. So
Yeah.
we said he was going to be the bomb when he came out of UNC. Not everybody was on that same ship, but we would be, validating our opinions if that definitely happened.
Yeah, because he didn't get as much hype as other quarterbacks that came out. He was more of an afterthought.
Yeah, we heard a lot of, he played and did his stats in a weak ACC or blah blah blah. But yeah, so if he wins, you got that one story. But then if Sam Darnold wins, you got a whole another story. A guy that was given up on by the Jets, by Carolina, by San Francisco. People said it was over, bust. He wore that bust title for years. And that bust title is going to be removed from him with a Super Bowl victory.
If he does, that's really the only way to wash that off once you become a bust.
Mm-hmm.
Because, especially when it's obvious that the offense of your team is just responsible for winning as the defense. Like, if Trent Dilfer was a bust, I wouldn't have washed that off just because the Ravens won the Super Bowl because they leaned on that defense from start to end.
True that.
But with the way that the Seahawks, they put up 31 points against the Rams yesterday. Sam Darnold had 304
yards passing.
You're passing. So this is not the same thing. This is a guy that basically was put out on the trash heap. Even Minnesota, after having the 14-3 year that they had last year, said, we're going to go with our guy that we drafted that got hurt, and we don't really know what the hell he's going to be. But we think that we're going to be all right, even though you gave us 14 wins. And what does Darnold do? He bets on himself, and he goes on to Seattle, and he does the same thing with that team, and now has them 60 minutes away from hoisting the Lombardi Trophy.
Yeah, and if it's if you ask me if I'm pulling for Drake May or for him, I gotta say I'm going for Seattle, man. It's not that I love Seattle, but I cannot bear to see New England take Super Bowl number 7 over the Steelers. Can't do it.
I get it. My pick lost yesterday with the Rams. I just felt like it's some way or another, and they almost pulled it off. That high-powered offense with Puka and Devontae Adams and those three tight end sets that McVay had been running was just going to cause nightmares all over the field for Seattle. But their defense made some opportunistic plays when it mattered the most, and they were able to come out with a win. But yeah, I think it's going to be an awesome Super Bowl. I can't wait. But we got 2 Sundays to go for that. So next week, it'll be another short show where we'll just kind of get into the NFL honors of it and come up with our picks for Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, man. Winding down. It's been a good year, though. A crazy year, but a good one.
This has been one of the craziest, weirdest years I've ever seen where you cannot predict a damn thing at all. You might as well just cover your eyes and throw against the dartboard and pick that way because you had just as good of a chance if you looked at on paper the way things should play out. A lot of times it did not play out that way. So
a whole lot of times you had so many upsets in prime time this year.
Yes. But that's going to do it for us this week. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all be safe out there. There's no games to bet on in the NFL this week, but hey, there's a lot of college basketball and hell, I wish I could have bet on them Hornets whooping the Sixers' ass today.
What's up with the Hornets, man? They beating everybody's ass now.
I've been seeing them blow some people out lately, and I'm going,
good Lord.
These people, what? I mean, like they beat somebody else the other day by almost 50 points. I'm like,
yeah, 35, 50, 37.
Oh, I know who it was. It was the Thunder. They beat the crap out of OKC.
Yeah, they are just melting teams' faces all of a sudden, man. So now I'm paying attention to them.
Oh my gosh! Thank you, brother. We appreciate that. Definitely not getting trolled on this comment here. Thank you, Jermaine.
Who knows? He might have been talking about me.
Lord, and who knows? I just think there's some weirdos out there. But anyway, we appreciate y'all. We will definitely be back next week. Y'all hang out there. Y'all be safe. Stay out that ice. Drive only if you have to, if you got some ice out there. And we will see y'all again next week. Peace out.